Good evening, my YouTube viewers. What we're going to talk about in this video is hypothesis testing. So hypothesis testing is a fundamental concept in statistics that enables researchers to make inferences about population based on sample data. It involves formulating a null hypothesis and an alternate hypothesis, and then using statistical methods to determine whether the observed data provides sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternate hypothesis. So in a nutshell, that's basically what a hypothesis test is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a hypothesis test in Excel, and then we're going to actually visualize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a one sample t-test. So you have a sample of 25 measurements of the daily water consumption of a city with a mean of 120 liters per household and a sample standard deviation of 15 liters. Test whether the mean water consumption is significantly different from 115 liters at 5% significance level. The test will be used as a two-tailed test, but we're using a one sample t-test, so I'm just gonna delete that. So the thing is sample mean is 120 and the hypothesis mean is 115. So that's what we're gonna make the hypothesis test on, 115. Sample standard deviation is 15. Sample size is 25. Significance level, which is your alpha, is 5%. Degree of freedom is the sample size minus 1. So your degree of freedom is 24. Your t-statistic is B7, that's your sample mean, minus B8, that's your hypothesized mean. So that's going to be 5, divided by B9, which is your sample standard deviation, divided by the square root of B10, which is your sample size. So it's going to be 15 divided by the square root of your sample size. So your t-statistic is 1.67. Your critical t-value is, sorry, that was a two-tailed t-test. And we'll just put this here. Okay, so your critical value is t.inv 2t. So 2t, t means it's a t-distribution, and 2t means it's two-tailed. B11 is your significance level, that's 0.05, and B12 is your degree of freedom, and that's 24. So your critical t-value is 2.06. Your p-value is 2 times, bracket, 1 minus t dot dist, brackets, ABS, that's absolute value, brackets, B13, that's your t-statistic, comma, true. And that gives you a value of, well, about 10%, close to 11%. So your decision rule is if B15, that's your p-value, is less than B11, that's your significance level, then you're going to reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, you're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. And so basically, your p-value is 0.1, so it's larger than the alpha of 0.05, so that means you're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. And then so what we have done is we've created a normal distribution, even though it says t-distribution, it's a normal distribution, from -4 to +4. And then so we create that with t.dist. And so we do get a t-distribution this time. Brackets D7 and that's your -4, comma, B12, and B12 is your degree of freedom, so that's 24, and then that's false. So false indicates that you get a P here. And so what we have done is we have created a diagram of the question that we're looking for. So you've got your T distribution, which is actually similar to a normal distribution, because in previous videos we have used a normal distribution, but in this video we're using a T distribution. And your critical T value is 2.06389. So that's your, on the left margin, it's going to be -2.063899. And then on the right hand side, it's going to be 2.063899 because it's a two-tailed test. And then your p-value is, your T statistic is 1.667. So your T statistic is before the critical T value. And since the T statistic is before the critical T value, this means that the null hypothesis is accepted. If the T statistic was outside of the critical T value, then the null hypothesis would be rejected. But because the critical T value is between the two critical T values, then that means the null hypothesis is accepted, or you fail to reject the null hypothesis. So that's how you solve this question. And so the next video is going to be male and female heights. So I hope that you decide to watch that video as well.